Welcome to Jeffco's GT Online Academy. I'm going to try to make this as short and sweet as possible. You guys can explore some of the links embedded in this later. I'll also share the presentation itself with you. But this is just going to run through some basics of where this program came from, kind of the history behind it, and why we feel there's such a need for some of these online classes. So just some background for you. A lot of people don't know. This sounds like a big number. We all know Jeffco's a big school district, but there's over 3,000 students, about 3,100 students when I counted at the beginning of this year on ALPs just in Jeffco's middle schools. 800 of these roughly are in GT Center programs. That leaves 2,300 students on ALPs who are not in these GT Center programs. These are students that are in your schools, your neighborhood schools. Of those 2,300 ALP students, most of these students are just in normal grade level classes at their neighborhood middle school, and it's up to the teachers to differentiate for those students' needs. Our question was really, could some of these students benefit from the opportunity to take more advanced classes that also, in addition to maybe being a little more academically challenging, but also can we address some of those social emotional needs that we know come along with the gifted child. So some things for you guys to think about as counselors or GT coordinators. These are the main things. These courses are designed for students on an ALP, so they need to be have that ALP flag in campus. If you're unsure of how to look at that, or if you happen to know or are wondering if a student is in the process of being identified for GT, or being if an ALP is kind of in the process of being written, talk to your school's resource teacher and they can give you an update on where that is. It is possible that we could allow some students into these classes that we're just gathering the last little bit of data, and we want to make sure that they're able to start the class, and their ALP will probably be written, a little bit into the class or the semester. Also, the students we're hoping have a current strength area or area of high interest in the particular content. So for this particular program, we're mostly looking at students that are probably going to take one, maybe two of these courses. We may have some situations where students take all four. That's unlikely to be the majority of the students. So for number 3 here, any of the following are occurring. So these are things to think about if you are hearing from teachers or parents or even the students themselves. So these kids may be regularly finishing classwork faster than other students or their classmates. If they have a really high level of thinking or interest in topics, shares in-depth information, about quantum mechanics during 7th grade science, anything that's maybe well beyond their classmates, or even is out of the teacher's ability to reasonably differentiate for. Sometimes kids with some attendance issues, we know along with being gifted sometimes comes some high anxiety, and that can result in attendance issues. If you know there's any students that are on ALPs that also struggle with making it to school, maybe taking a couple of those classes and being able to do those from home, shorten their school day, let them work independently in the library, whatever, really might help or be beneficial for those students. Even scheduling conflicts. Some students at particular schools, because of the classes they want to take, may not be able to take a certain other class just because of the way the logistics of your school and how the schedule is set up. Maybe these classes can help to alleviate some of those other issues, or even things that we haven't thought of there as our last one. So the courses for this year, we're wrapping up this year right now. This was a pilot program this year. We wrote the 7th grade curriculum last year and through the summer, and we just had 7th grade this year. Next year, we will have both 7th and 8th grade courses in all 4 subject areas: social studies, science, math, language arts. Okay. So this is where we need your help. So one of the big issues that we're dealing with is just getting the word out that these courses are available. We've continued to send this out through regular district communication, but we all know how many emails we get and how many of them we read the first half of, and students come into our room or whatever and we realize we don't get to. I think the biggest thing with these courses is making this option something that counselors and teachers and parents think of when they think of their menu of what can I do to help this kid. This is something that is on the menu. As of now, it's probably not on most people's menus because it's new and it's not something that they've gone to in the past to utilize, and that's really where we want to get this program. So we're just trying to continue to get the word out that this is an available option. So think about what questions that you might have for us around these courses or hesitations. Okay. What questions might you anticipate from parents? Please, if you can give us any feedback on this as well, if you have any questions or feedback, maybe why there's been some stumbling blocks or some pushback or misunderstanding around online courses or GT or ALPs or anything like that, please feel free to give us that feedback or ask those questions. And if you go to, also attached in the email is this same presentation, just in a Google Slides version, and all of these here are linkable as well. And we'll continue to add to this as we develop more and more resources throughout the growth of this program. Thanks, and please contact us. Let us know if you think you have any students that might be good candidates for some of these classes. Or even if you want us to just follow up with some parents that might have questions. One of the things that we added here, we had a meeting with a lot of middle school counselors, or maybe 25 or so were there that day. We did craft a letter or an email that you can use to send to any of your ALP students who you think may be good candidates for one of these classes. So we have several flyers as well. We have the letter or email available. It's kind of generic. You can just fill in your school's information and then be able to send that out, just even to let parents know that this is an option.